That was a quick thing. Yeah.
That was all the time you had to take your seats. Immediately sit down. How many people have been to a PAX panel before? If you raised your hand, you've been to terrible PAX panels. I want to get right to the point of it now. You're all very polite people raised in polite homes from polite families. Remember, this is a panel. This is about excitement. It's about video games. Let's not take ourselves seriously. If you hear something you like, you clap. I love you too. When Christopher says something you don't like, you boo. Boo! Boo, Christopher! All right. All right then, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, everybody? Welcome to your Just Cause 3 panel. If you don't know me, I am Greg Miller from KindaFunny.com. Thank you for having me and coming here and supporting me. Beyond, of course. There you go. Oh. Still brings a tear to my eye. Whole bunch of great stuff for you today. We're going to go through and talk all about this Just Cause 3. But first, let's meet the team here. These are the people who make Just Cause 3. Let's. Christopher, say hello to the people and tell them what you do.
Hello, my name is Christopher.
No, don't boom yet. Don't boom yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, everybody.
I'm a co-founder and chief creative officer of Avalanche. I did the first Just Cause game. And
round of applause. Who played Just Cause, the original? I told you not to raise your hand. Don't put it down. No, don't join him. Round of applause. Who played the second Just Cause game? Roland, how does that make you feel?
Feels pretty good.
Feels pretty good? Feels pretty good. Roland, what do you do as game director?
I come to work and tell people that I direct stuff. Keep them directing creatively.
You keep them directing. That's what you do.
Keep them going towards some goal in the near future.
Sounds like a horrible job. Sounds like just a living nightmare of things to do. Joe, now you have perhaps you have the longest title here.
I do.
You are lead system/player mechanics designer.
Yeah.
That sounds like an even worse job than game director.
Oh, I disagree.
What does it mean? Fun. What does it do? What does that mean?
So for the player mechanics part, I do stuff like the wingsuit, the grappling hook, design that stuff. And then with systems, it's thank you.
So you make all the stuff that makes the game awesome.
I make some of the stuff that makes it awesome, yeah.
Okay. That's a polite way to get around it, I think.
Yeah, gotta be PC here.
Now, Zach, please tell me your definition of art director is better than coming in and directing things.
Well, when you're surrounded by such talented people and you're able to collaborate with a great team, we're here to direct and make great worlds and then blow them up.
And then Anna, what does a concept artist do?
I draw the pretty pictures.
Biggest pop of the night so far, pretty pictures.
There's a lot more to it than that. I work with Zach. We basically push out some ideas, see what works, see what doesn't. It's a very collaborative process, and it's not just with Zach. It's like Roland's involved, designers are involved. It's an all-encompassing process.
Okay. Now, this is the only slide we bring. No, I'm kidding. There's a lot more slides to go through. But there's also a video. Let's get everybody in the right mindset for this Just Cause 3 panel. Then we're going to all cheer and go crazy, and then we're going to talk about why this game's going to blow your balls off. And if you're a lady, your breasts. So here comes a movie. Joe, that was your wingsuit.
That was my, well, it was a lot of people's wingsuit.
No, Joe, don't be, no. He directed you to make the wingsuit, and there it is in the trailer.
My little wingsuit machine. It's my wingsuit.
I like how we end on RICO falling like a badass, looking very upset. His game's so much fun to play, but he's always so angry. Christopher, talk to me a bit about like who RICO is. I mean, we know who he is because we've played him, but where is he in Just Cause 3 and what's happening to him?
He's going back to his childhood island or his country where he was born. And
It's a very happy story, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. But he's really not that angry. I mean, he just has this. Well, in this game he is angry, but he just has this passion to overthrow dictatorships and blow shit up.
That's his passion.
Yeah,
I like that. My passion's eating wings.
And it's made out of career.
His is throwing dictators and blowing shit up. Anna, you're of course, well, let me see it here. Concept artist is what we call you. So this is your concept art. You made this?
Oh, yeah.
RICO in the Tropics. What the hell is this, Chris?
This is the first RICO, actually. And that was the first concept art we had on the document when we originally pitched this game to IDOS back in the days, in 2003. So the game was called RICO, Terror in the Tropics.
Do we like that name better than Just Cause? Thank you, Colin. I thought it was a cool name, too.
Okay, I didn't invent that.
So, I mean, talk to me about, what was this original pitch? Who was RICO? What was the terror in the tropics? I imagine octopuses.
We called him the black sheep of extreme sportsmen. And originally he was kind of a triple X, not the movie type, but the action hero type of character. He was in prison for his reckless driving. And originally he was sent to San Esperito, the island in Just Cause 1, to stop the drug trafficking out of San Esperito, to stop the threat of nuclear weapons, and third, to rescue the Pope.
Now who likes the name of this game better? Rescue the Pope, come on!
Yeah.
Boo the Pope? So then how do we go from this rough sketch? You've come a long way, Anna. To this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Like, talk about like the journey, I guess, of this character and stuff. We start with this, the black sheep of extreme sports.
Well, there is a step in between here where he had the suits and this in the first, and looked kind of like a dork. And then he's evolved to a more of an action hero, and we've taken a step even further. And obviously his change of clothes has been rooted in his anger for dictatorships.
He really doesn't like dictatorships.
He doesn't like.
It's the kind of the core of his character, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
That makes him unique.
It makes him unique? I don't know. I think most of us don't like dictatorships.
I'm on the fence.
You're on the fence about that? Well, all right then. Sorry, my bad. I mean,
Do work with me after all.
Roland, like as game director, how do you envision RICO? Who is RICO to you?
RICO for a long time was. I'm gonna sit in front of it eventually. RICO, for me, when I first started playing Just Cause 1 and Just Cause 2, it was very much my way into the game. So it was an amazing world that you could jump around in and move around in, but RICO itself was kind of a flat character, you know, just the embodiment of the craziness that I had in my head, like pure creativity. The reason why there's so many YouTube videos that kind of addictive to watch for all those games. And as we started progressing it into Just Cause 3, we wanted to give him a little bit more backstory. Not a ton. It's not like we're going to sit and do tons of story and get serious. But just a little bit of weight to where he is. And so we started looking at how, where RICO would come from, why he would have gotten this sort of insane ability. So his background as a race car driver, a reckless race car driver, and how he kind of ended up in the agency. And really his whole story is that he eventually gets to come back to this beautiful Mediterranean world where he left when he was a teenager, end of his teens, to go through Just Cause 1 and Just Cause 2, San Esperito and Panau. And he's coming back all these years later to kind of get rid of the dictator that took power on the days that he left. And so he's gotten all the tools through the first 2 Just Cause games in his time away to overthrow another dictator.
I mean, Christopher, was that, when he came in, he's like, I want to tell RICO's backstory and take him back to his childhood, or were you just like, no, just blow shit up, like, stop?
Was that a question?
It was, yeah. I mean, was it hard to like sit there and was there a debate, I guess, internally at the studio of taking this character that players get to project so much onto and trying to give him his own voice?
Absolutely. He needed to mature a bit, and the whole game needed to mature. In the first game, he was quite flat as a character. In the second game, I think the strongest character of Just Cause 2 was actually Panau. The island. And in the third game, I think we as a studio owed it to RICO to give him a personality and tell you guys more about where he comes from and yeah.
Okay, that's acceptable. I'll allow it.
Thank you.
C+.
No, it wasn't a C+. No, don't go that hard on him.
C-.
Now, Zach.
Yes.
Art direction. RICO.
Yes.
Lots of leather.
Not this time. A little less leather. When I first joined Avalanche, saw RICO, to me he was a romanticized version of Che Guevara. And I found that fascinating, actually. And in JC2, he came across a sort of El Mariachi, with leather, the El Mariachi outfit. So,
I thought you meant with the big hat and the guitar.
No, not like that. But the film El Mariachi.
Sure, yeah, now I'm caught up.
Yeah. And we wanted to take it one step further to make him fit into this world. He's gone back home. His relationship with the agency's a little looser. We wanted to make him wear the clothes that we wear. The jeans, the boots, sort of these lycra top.
The arm grappling hook you often see me wearing.
Target has a great sale on those. He's still one of us. So we really wanted to de-Hollywoodify him as much as possible and make him feel more approachable to everyone. Anna, do you want to add?
No.
Solid work, Anna. So now, you all have been making a big deal about the world. Like, talk to me, what's the world of Just Cause 3, I guess? Roland as game director. Where are we? What's happening? And stop just saying Childhood Island. What does that mean? Is it filled with children? Is it a Neverland situation? Is this the new Peter Pan? Is he Rufio? Holy shit, I never even thought about that. Because he looks like Rufio.
Yeah. 3 of the same letters.
That's true. It's pretty close.
He's even wearing red. Guys, I'm sorry. I
spoiled it.
You didn't. No, talk to me. Where are we this time? What is this island?
So we went to the Mediterranean. We started thinking, all right, we've done the tropics. Been doing it for a while. A lot of games kind of jumped on that bandwagon. And we thought, oh, well, there's been no open world games really that took place in the Mediterranean. And RICO is all about getting up in the air and jumping off of huge cliffs and parachuting and adding in the wingsuit and all that fun stuff. What would be the best place in the world to do that? Oh, well, the cliffs in the Mediterranean are pretty nice. And I don't know how many of you have been to the Mediterranean, but it's kind of nice. So no cheering, Alvin, 2 people?
Or boo. None of this. Stop raising your hands.
What did you start?
So we started in the Mediterranean as just a beautiful backdrop, and going back to what Christopher was saying, Panau was really a main character. Just Cause 3, I mean, the world of Medici is a main character. So we really wanted to build it up and give it a personality and a history too. So the art team spent a long time building out that background to it, because the Mediterranean has thousands of years of history being built upon it. So we can do everything from the old ruins and things you find by the water and cliffside towns and that old romantic structures, and then we could build out a military force on top of it with a brutalist feel to it that I'm sure Zach would prefer to go into.
I'm sure Zach and Anna, or mainly Anna here, doing all this concept work. I'm sure you fell on the sword and went to the Mediterranean for a few months, chilled out and drew.
I wish that were true. Unfortunately, my lens, my sphere was through Google.
Oh, the old Google image search.
Yes.
Ah, yes, I know it well, with safe search off. So, I mean, how do you guys go in and bring an island like that to life, like as far as art direction and stuff?
Would you, or shall I?
Why don't you start?
Well, usually we break it down to the finer points and build upon that. So we wanted to decide what regions we wanted, say it be coastal, scrublands, pastoral, mountains, forests. We broke it all down to its finer points or what kind of architecture we wanted to use. We even made silhouettes to decide what would be aggressive and what would be like a friendly shape visually, what would communicate easily to the audience. Would you like to go further?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me more about a friendly shape.
Yeah,
Yeah,
friendly shape.
yeah.
It's always round. So the first thing that we started with is what is the world's perception of the Mediterranean? And it's important to start there because that may be different things to different people. So we've sort of had an aggregate, a composite of what is the Mediterranean. That's taking geographical elements from southern Spain, such as Andalusia, North Africa, Italy, Provence, even Albania and Greece, and Lebanon. All these areas encompass the Mediterranean area. So we're able to distill it and consolidate down to its most essential colors, which develop the palettes, the shapes, friendly shapes and evil shapes.
Okay, what's an evil shape?
An evil shape is typically...
What is?
Wait, hold on. I think we're getting evil shape. Oh, never mind. So evil shapes is really angular. It's really showing sort of the land torn asunder, having a lot of jagged edges, very sharp angles, a world that's very angry, so to speak, and threatening. Whereas friendly shapes is more of the round...
That hay bale.
Yeah, that hay bale.
Friendly field.
Yeah.
Yes, look at it.
Just to be able to push a tone for the world.
Interesting. So, okay, these nerd pencil pushers over here are pushing a tone. What does it come down for you guys making the game? Like, are they bringing you, we need evil shapes, and you guys are like, I don't know what the hell that means. But then you're also like, you all of a sudden are on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC. Like, how are you making the game they're envisioning?
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty simple on our side. If you go back like 2 slides. Nope, I was wrong. 3. There we go.
Do you want to just restart the panel?
Yeah, please.
What's up, everybody?
Let's go with the trailer. I'm Joe.
Thank you.
In terms of game design, it's actually pretty simple. If I tell you you have a wingsuit, look at how many places you could wingsuit off of that, right? So it's actually, we have much smaller prehistoric brains, so that's kind of how we think of like, oh, where do we want to use the grappling hook, good cliff sides, all that type of stuff. That's just really fun. So when I look at that, I can think of 1,500 places to jump off of and have a good time. That's kind of how simple our thinking is sometimes. And honestly, that's kind of the process I had, so I'm a simple guy.
Roland, as game director, I mean, for bringing something to life with all these cliffs and stuff, is it as easy as like just improving on the Just Cause 2 engine and putting a new place into it, or is there something different in there?
I mean, it's pretty tough to say something's easy when it takes this many years to do, but I'm sure a lot of the devs would be pretty pissed if we were saying it was
You're like,
really
yeah, it's a
easy.
cinch, no problem.
So easy, like, yeah, we just hit a button and it makes game. It's a really useful button. But no, a lot of the time when we're starting out is it fun? I mean, that's the primary question that we constantly ask ourselves. If we're laughing out loud when we're playing the game and something ridiculous happens or even a bug happens, we're saying, well, maybe we should put that as a feature. Because you just want to run around this world, and if something explodes and does something ridiculous, and you go off a cliff and you just have this whole story to tell about an experience you just had, then we just did something right. And so over the years, you just spend a lot of time polishing each of those pieces and put it all together. I mean, a lot of building out this world is building out the play space that you're in, these huge open areas that make wingsuiting and parachuting and grappling and swimming and shooting RPGs and everything you can imagine. You want each of those systems to be fun in their own right, and then when you combine them together, that's when things get ridiculous, and ridiculous is good.
But, okay, so what's the line for ridiculousness, though? I mean, they're giving you all these evil, jagged-edged cliffs and nice round things and stuff. Like, was it an immediate mesh and everything worked really well, or is there problems?
No, I mean, you work on it, but there's a really careful balance in Just Cause, because you can go too far, and then it doesn't feel a place that's grounded. So you still want to have that feeling that this could be a real place, even though if a person had a grapple hook on their arm, it would rip it right off, and that'd be a little gross. And your game
I like how you're like, it has to be grounded of the screenshot of RICO with an RPG strapped to his back, nosediving at the earth.
I mean, this is grounded in the way we see grounded. But you want it to feel like, yeah, this could happen, and then obviously it couldn't happen.
Right there, the guy who's like watching Rico plummet past him is not wishing this would happen in real life. Dude, I'm just trying to work in this field. I understand you used to live here as a kid.
And it's amazing, like the AI actually does look at Rico when he's doing weird things, and that makes the world feel kind of alive. And so when you go around and do crazy stuff, the world will react to you and wonder why there's a dude wingsuiting over their head. And that's great. That's what you want. You want a game that the whole thing is a pure sandbox. I mean, this is a game where the more creative and wild you are, the more fun this game becomes. You know, it takes a little time to get used to it. I know a lot of you said you played Just Cause 2. The first 2 minutes, you're like, yeah, it's okay. An hour in, you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. Then you see a YouTube video of what someone can do, and you're like, I'm going to go back to that game for a second. And that's the feeling that this game keeps bringing you back, like, wait, I didn't even know that was possible. You know, that's what Joe's been trying to do for a long time, too, is get all the player mechanics. Can I parachute and fire an RPG and then reel into the ground onto the top of a vehicle and walk around on it?
The answer is yes.
So then that's a good jumping off point. I mean, Joe, what is, well, Jesus Christ.
We're very grounded.
Grounded, everybody! What, I mean, this is a great jumping off point. What is Rico working with this time around? Clearly he's grappling hook and stuff, but I mean, how many new things have you given him, and what's he able to do with all these tools?
Yeah, so I guess probably for me the most interesting thing is we have obviously the new dual tether with the retract feature. We have multiple tethers, we have the wingsuit, but I guess to me, when I try to think about these tool sets, it's more about how you could combine them and how it kind of just makes sense, right? So I'm glad I said makes sense while we're watching this thing.
I mean, that makes sense visually, I get it.
Yeah. I'm not sure sense was the right word, but sure. But yeah, you know, along those lines, I think half of my job is to kind of just meet the expectations of the player. So whether you're parachuting or you're wingsuiting, you could always use the grappling hook. The grappling hook always does something cool. That's just brutal. But yeah, and the interesting thing to me, like a screenshot like this, is that all it is, we just let you have more tethers out. But it's kind of interesting what you could do with it, where in this case, it's just sadistic. But in addition to that, you can also be very creative with it, right? So I think it gets as small as, sure, 2 tethers can make it so that you could lift a car a little bit easier, but the more interesting thing to me is when you attach a tether to, say, an object, and then between 2 objects, then you can lift it straight into the air, right? So it's about kind of having this small tool set that's really, really easy to use, but combine in a really interesting way and create kind of infinite complexity. So that was kind of the goal there.
So would you guys say we encourage twisted minds?
Would you say that you guys encourage twisted minds?
Yes.
We call this picture drag racing.
So then, Roland, Mr. Game Director, how do you direct a game that you can do fucking shit like this? Like, I mean, like it seems like your direction is just like, well, give them cool stuff, Joe. I'm gonna go chill out now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I actually do come to Joe's desk. I'm like, hey, what if we could do that? And that's pretty dark, but I'm a little weird. So sometimes that just comes out that way, and then Joe's like, I'm going to try to interpret that as actual things to do. And then Joe figures out how to make it fun. And that's where we go, usually.
Joe, is
Yes,
that tougher now with Just Cause 3? I mean, I only know the buzzwords of like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are so powerful and they can do the good game like never before and da-da-da-da. Like, does the horsepower make the fact that now you can ride helicopters even better? That you can do this to people on cars? I don't even know what you want to call it. You can ride a propane tank through the air with a goo. I mean, like.
Well, this is actually one of my favorite things to do in Just Cause 2, minus the extra tether. But with actually that last screenshot with the tethers, the 3 tethers, yeah, it's not totally true that we couldn't do it at all, but it made it a lot easier to put that in the build very early and have confidence that we could put that in the game. Because believe it or not, there's about I have no idea what the number is, but an insane number of simulations that are going there so that we can realistically and sadistically flail the limbs and drag them.
So you can actually catch their terror
Yes.
And their desire not to be thrown
If you look
around.
closely enough in their eyes, yes, you can see
Jesus
their terror.
Christ.
That's a total lie. Don't look at their eyes.
Don't look at their eyes.
Don't look at my eyes either.
So then, as we look at this, I mean, I guess going Just Cause 2 to Just Cause 3, what are the differences like you guys have to look at to make it not feel like a minimal upgrade? Like you said, you could already ride propane tanks. You could already ride a helicopter before. What makes this version a true sequel and a step forward and all that stuff?
I think a big piece is actually the team. So everyone on the team is a huge fan of Just Cause 2. So a lot of the team came from Stockholm. A lot of us are new into Avalanche, and everyone brought all their favorite ideas into this game. And it was about how do we truly bring this game out? I mean, besides the fact that the art team and the render team and all that made ridiculous looking, amazing world to jump around in. And Brian, who's sitting right there in the front of the row.
Stand up!
Yeah, Brian.
Brian the Disc
Made this game all by himself.
Does all of our technical animation, so he's dealing with all the crazy, all the crazy skinning and everything
I was
else.
going to say, your job's got to be a nightmare then.
Yeah, I mean, that is hard job. But to be able to do this sort of thing where how do we make it really fluid? So a big piece that we looked at from the feedback was everyone loved the responsiveness of JC2. Cool, let's do that and also add in amazing animation so that your realization of that perfect action scene moment can come true and you can create your amazing YouTube videos and everything else you feel like doing with it. And then of course, okay, well let's take the vehicles, and so we got some amazing vehicle programmers and designers and vehicle artists to come in, and let's make them deformable and have hinged parts and have them race like a weighted racing game, but blow up in awesome ways, because everything needs to blow up all the time. It's very important.
Everything does need to blow up.
They do.
It's joyful. When you shoot something and there's just a huge explosion, it never gets old. It's amazing.
It's like the Michael Bay button.
It is. It's the best. And when you have a character, I mean, every game you drive off a cliff and you're like, I lost. Just cause you drive off the cliff, you're like, I'm just starting something. It's a different move.
So now all that said, art team, how hard is it to make look that good? Like, do they come up with these ideas and show them to you and you're like, God damn it.
No, it's actually. I mean, it's again, we're starting from Just Cause 2, and really what it's about is taking the palettes, taking the shapes, taking the textures, and up-resing them and adding more depth to this world. And really, one of the mantras we had is creating a world that's worthy of destruction. And that's adding more layers of history to the world with the layers of ruins, more culture, more of a depthful world. I sort of call it BBC Earth with machine guns. And we have an incredibly powerful engine, and we have wonderful artists, and I can't say that enough, and they really help make the job very easy. So when you hear, can you make this special helicopter that can do this and this, you're like, absolutely.
Give us a day. We'll be right back with your helicopter.
With enough coffee, anything is possible. Usually there's like a lot of back and forth between us, so it's usually like a thumbnailing process. Again, breaking it down from the small parts and building it into the bigger shapes and reads.
Excellent answer, Anna.
Thank you.
You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I want you to know that. Jesus
How am I doing?
Christ.
Yes.
What? It's just like, what is wrong with you guys? Like,
That's totally,
grounded.
That's
Look
totally
at how fast
logical.
that jet's going.
That's completely logical.
What, you don't do that?
Yeah.
Somewhere a physicist is ringing.
I was doing that just last weekend.
You were doing that last week.
That's how we got here, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, no snowstorm problems for you guys there. So, I mean, oh Lord Almighty, like this is
Minigun.
We've hinted at it. We've talked about it here and there. I mean, like, you're still destroying a lot of stuff in Just Cause. The dictatorship, sure, but I mean, just then, you're just blowing stuff up and tearing it apart.
Yes, always.
Yep.
That
Seems
is the
about
key focus of what you like to do. Usually, I mean, you can drive around and see it's beautiful, but eventually you like to see big explosions, and we provide a lot of those.
That's the beauty of creating a very nice-looking, believable beautiful world and just watch it burn.
The best thing about making this world is to watch it burn. You guys got some demons, but no, I mean, so is it just because how did you stumble upon that? Was that always even when it was Rico's Wild Ride in the tropics, was it, that was the idea of the game, that you guys wanted to sit down and just be able to tear everything apart?
Kind of.
It's so many words.
The technology that we use, our engine, is really enabled us to create all these super beautiful worlds, and just watching them be there, it's kind of boring. So obviously, causing a lot of explosions and fires and see things crumble. That's fun. I mean, it's entertainment.
Roland, is it hard to direct that game? Like, because again, like if you're making set pieces or dropping in missions, but people just want to run around and destroy everything. I mean, how do you direct that?
Well, it's a different challenge. You don't start with, oh, I want to send the player on a very linear structure, and you're going to do exactly what we want you to do. We do kind of the opposite. We say, let's create a whole bunch of systems, and
hey, we're doing a panel! Shut up!
perfect.
So, continue.
I think I needed that recorded. That's going in the game. No, so you look at something like this. This actually is taking place, I'm probably not allowed to say this, but it's taking place in a mission. But we don't tell you what to do in the mission. We just give you objectives, and you do whatever the hell you want to do. And so here, you're escaping after you fired a fire leech, which is a RPG that breaks into 8 RPGs, because why not?
Because that's what you do.
Yeah, and then you fired it while grappling towards something, so yeah, because that's awesome. Probably a problem if he lands where they land, but that's another problem, I guess. But, we wanted to set these scenarios, and the greatest thing is all these tools all fit together, so when you start thinking about a story or mission structure, that side is let's give opportunity for the player to do incredible, badass stuff. And then, of course, you build out all the systems in the open world. So you go into a base and you want to destroy it. You don't have to go talk to someone and hit a button and say, yo, I want to go destroy the base. You just go and destroy the base. And, in Just Cause 2, it was kind of great. You just flew around and you're like, oh, what's that? And then it blew up. Awesome. So we wanted to do that and then make it bigger. So with our work with the engine and our partner working with Havoc as well, we really pushed our destruction side. So now you can take out a whole bridge if you want to stop one car chasing you. Sounds reasonable,
Great.
And so then, Joe, this all falls to you to make work?
Yes, only me.
What? You know what I mean, jerk.
No, it's, I think at the end of the day, on the mechanics side, yes, it's really awesome seeing explosion, but if it's always the same explosion and you're always shooting it with the same gun, it's not that interesting. But no, I take it back, it's pretty interesting anyway. But I think with the tool sets that you have, for me, the most interesting thing is what happened before the explosion and how did the player use his creativity and his tool set to do something really interesting. So obviously there's an explosion that you shoot, a barrel or something like that, but then there's also the same explosion that's at the end of essentially a Rube Goldberg machine that you could just use the limited-ish tool set, but combines in a really interesting way where you could do pretty cool stuff. So to me, it's about kind of figuring out all the different ways that I can't even anticipate what the players are going to do, but give them the right tool set so that they can be creative and surprise us, because they're going to come up with cooler stuff than we are.
Now, Anna, when I think of concept art, I'm thinking of pretty pictures and landscapes and the evil jagged cliff, but still a nice, pretty evil jagged cliff. Are they like coming in and being like, well, doodle what a giant thing exploding looks like?
Absolutely.
And do you like that?
Absolutely.
All right.
It's amazing.
Zach, is there like a design Bible for like, hey, when we have an explosion, this is the kind of explosion it should be, and this is how the fire should look, and this and that and that?
I have 2 words for you. Michael Bay.
All right, now don't get me wrong. I'm not going to go into this whole Transformers business. Robot heaven. What was he thinking? I was gonna get to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Trust me, we can go for it. But the one thing the guy does well is blow things up. If you're gonna have a Bible based on anything and Michael Bay's involved, there needs to be explosions. Why are you raising your hand in agreement? That wasn't even a yes or no question.
So Michael Bay's first Transformer film, apart from the story, because he was a car, he did a lot of advertisements for cars. The important elements to show off the car was to make sure it's gleaming and reflective, make sure there's a lot of dust, and you can still read the message. And a lot of the same principles also convey in our world. And so I used Michael Bay a lot because he wasn't afraid of color, he wasn't afraid of filming in broad daylight, and you could always see what's going on, no matter how much chaos is happening. I wouldn't say that for his latter films, but in the beginning he had some sense of control. So explosions, what really helps readability is lots of sparks, lots of color. And for me, when we talk about the grounded world, he plays the world straight. When a Michael Bay film starts and you see the environment, it's treated pretty straight. Cars like cars, they're not toys. The colors are more vibrant. Things are charged. The minute you have your protagonist in there and he starts blowing shit up, that's when the game starts. And the more grounded the world is, the more intense RICO as an agent of change and destruction becomes. So we played on that. And really, the explosions are your palette. That's what you're painting the world with. And that's the message and the fantasy that we're trying to convey.
That was the most intelligent answer involving Michael Bay I've ever heard. It's one of those things where they told me here, see the screenshots, and I clicked through so I knew when to switch, but then now I'm actually looking at the screenshots in the middle, and it's just like, wow. What the hell is happening in every one of these? First off, back here, why is the Ultimate Warrior driving the truck? I don't know. I'm looking forward to finding out that. You want to tell me?
That guy's actually modeled after the physics programmer who did the vehicles. So every time you see it, that's his face. It makes me smile. That's Jacques Kerner, if you want to look him up.
I have to imagine the money's nice. The fans are nice. I've seen Cliffy B's cars, they're nice. Is the best thing of being a game designer, developer, putting yourself in games and having, I was the Ultimate Warrior car driver. That's me, that's my legacy.
I mean, that's a pretty nice part. I won't lie. It's pretty nice to come to work each day and you basically can invent the craziest thing in your mind and there's a whole bunch of people who know how to make it happen. That's kind of awesome, and sitting around and saying, how do we make this explosion better? I mean, it's weird to go into a meeting at work for an hour and talk about the edges of explosions and how it needs to interact with the tail of something, or that fuel tank, I want to have a heat wave next to the explosion. That's actually serious conversations where people have arguments and they are passionate about it.
Yeah, art.
My wife looks through my phone for some reason, and she looks at my calendar, and she's always amazed when she sees there's a meeting about trees or a meeting about clouds. So it's always amusing. What's wonderful about video games for me personally is it's the only media that has used all previous media to create itself. The art of fashion, architecture, landscape design, choreography, filmmaking, all of those art media that we've created in the last 1,000 years are all in one place in video games. And that, to me, is exciting. And it shows a rich future, and we're just at the beginning of it. So that's what keeps me coming to work.
Stop it! It's not a funny joke to raise your hand anymore. It's making me angry. Christopher, I mean, was there any concern? What the
I've never seen that one either.
By the way, you can grapple different parts of the body now. That's why you can do the legs and things. I know it's pretty messed up, but it's sweet.
Was there concern going into Just Cause 3 that you would run, you're like, well, how are we going to make it crazier than Just Cause 2? Because that was always the thing with Just Cause 2 when it came out. There was the YouTube movie. You're not in your head. You know what I'm saying. We all watched it, and it was crazy, and we're tethering, we're doing this, that, and the other, and then, like, You're like, it's exciting to go into meetings and talk about it. I'd be like, what do we do? What do we do now? We've already done that. We're riding propane tanks through the air, god damn it. Is there a concern ever of running out of crazy ideas about explosions?
There was a concern, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to have a new team working on the game rather than rolling off the Just Cause 2 team straight into Just Cause 3. So there had to be a thought process between the two games and let it settle a little bit. Then we had a new set of eyes taking a look at the game, and the guys have done a fantastic job at it. And they have come up with ideas that have made this game even crazier and bigger and more crazier.
Like riding a twin-engine jet in RPG. Well, I guess it's not a jet.
Well,
propeller
it's
plane.
actually walking around at it, riding it.
We did add in the
Nice
ability to just wing walk now, so every plane that you have in another piece of player mechanics, instead of just being stuck in one spot, you now can move anywhere you want on any moving vehicle, which means every jet, every plane, every car, every boat, all those surfaces are now the same player mechanics that you have walking around on the ground. And it's actually a pretty complex thing for the guys to solve because you have to do the translation of both the character and the vehicle against the ground. So it takes quite a long time to get there, but what it does is it gives you the exact same feel everywhere in the world. There's no break, there's no change in the way you see the game.
And it makes perfect sense for a guy to walk around in the plane.
Total sense. Yeah.
Grounded.
Grounded.
We want to make highly realistic.
We're actually, we've never used the word realistic, as you can probably guess. But something that has always been an important word during development of Just Cause 1, 2, and 3 is believability, or believable. Creating a world that is actually, that could be a real world.
A real terrifying world.
Yes.
None of us would ever want to live in. If some guy went by right now on a propane tank, I'd be like, I'm done.
With a parachute that goes
in.
on his back.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, you came all this way to hear about Just Cause 3. We want to hear your questions. Approach the microphones. Kind of Funny staff members, the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino, the Pure One, Tim Geddes, will be there to introduce you to the world. And I have a feeling, guys, the first question is going to be the best question.
Hey guys, good panel, really good so far. Really like that moderator. I probably support him on Patreon. Guys, I noticed a lot of good screenshots, cool trailer in the beginning. When are we gonna see gameplay? Why no gameplay? We want gameplay, show us gameplay.
Thanks for the question, Greg.
That was a good question, and I liked your t-shirt. Yeah, guys, where's the gameplay? Why haven't you shown anything?
Well, we want to do everything in the right way. And before we show you guys how epic the game has become, we want to put those final touches on it. I mean, we're all gamers too. We want to see stuff that's polished and ready to be seen. And we want to get to that point so that when you guys see it, you guys will be impressed. I mean, we've spent many years working on this, pouring our heart and soul. That first time you guys see it, you want to turn around and say, wow, that was awesome. I can't wait to play it.
Is that a hard decision to make?
Yeah, trust me. We work with a publisher. I'm sure they would love to put that out right away. But, you know, Square's been amazing to support us through holding back a little bit. And I know it's an impatience, but it's coming, and it's worth it.
Thank you for not rushing it. As a fan, you know what I mean? Like, that's always the thing. You put something out there early, then you change it. Last Guardian, that's all I'm saying. So now it's time to open up the floor to questions. Remember, this is the Just Cause 3 panel. Sit down if you have a Mad Max question. All right, good. Tim, who do we got?
Hello, what is your name? Diego, what is your question for the Just Cause 3 people?
I mean, you probably heard about the Just Cause 2 multiplayer mod for PC. My question regarding that, my question is, what kind of impact did that have, you know, in terms of how you wanted to steer the franchise into this next iteration? And what were your initial thoughts on, you know, on them actually pulling off this third-party mod that just all of a sudden brought the franchise back into the limelight?
The guys in the JC2 multiplayer team, we have them to thank for a lot. They've helped keeping Just Cause 2 alive for 5 years after release, and I think that's unheard of in a game like this. And obviously we've looked a lot at what they've done, and as we started planning out the third game, and as you probably know, there is no multiplayer mode in JC2. No, it's free, I mean. So we're focused to 100% on the sandbox experience, and we'll continue to support and work with the modding community, and we'll see what happens.
There you go, Diego.
Polite golf claps. Nicholas Scarpino, who you got over there?
We have Max from Arizona. Do you go by Mad Max by any chance?
I can. My question is, my initial favorite part of Just Cause isn't the destruction or physics. It's all the tiny Easter eggs that you put in, the hot air balloon, the bubble gun, the Lost Island. Was there any Easter eggs that were scrapped from the first one or the second one, or that you might have added to the third one?
Well, I mean, should I tell you what the Easter eggs are?
Well, I mean, you could just tell me the scrap.
Are you working for a publisher? They usually want to know what the Easter eggs are.
I mean, there are a lot of guys from the JC2 team, and we looked at everything that didn't quite make it into that game and looked at what we could bring into the next one. There were some amazing ideas on that front. And then obviously the team that's been together now working on JC3, we all have our joyful nods to different things that are going on in the world. I know Legal is like, what? But we will have a bunch of Easter eggs in the game, and we haven't forgotten about that side of it. We love the nod to popular culture that's going on in other games. We are huge gamers. I mean, we're big fans of a lot of other franchises too, and to be able to give a nod to television or film or anything else, it's kind of part of the joy of making a Just Cause game.
Ladies and gentlemen, next up, we got Adam from Jersey. Adam, what do you got for us?
Yeah, Jersey.
Jersey. Got a nice hat too.
So, given you've been talking about having Just Cause be grounded and somewhat realistic, but given the ending of Just Cause 2, I find that hard to believe. So I really would like an example of something that was too ridiculous for Just Cause. Any of the series.
Too ridiculous.
Good question.
We have, during the first 2 games, quite strictly avoided things that are too sci-fi, for example. Laser weapons, stuff like that. So it hasn't really, I can't remember anything that was too ridiculous to put in, but what did it for me was when the team wanted the RICO to go on to the moon. I was like, oh, wait a minute, we've created this great world on
There's so many great things to glide off of on the moon.
Yeah, on the moon. We have Elite, dangerous for that. No, so that's the only thing I could think of that didn't really fit.
There are no explosions in space. That's sad.
It's sad. Nick.
Greg.
Hi.
Superfan Sean Pitts, up next.
Hey guys, I was wondering what your favorite part about working with the new hardware is, the PlayStation or the Xbox. Is it just that, I know Greg kind of asked, is it just that you have more horsepower to work with, or is there a feature that the PlayStation or Xbox has that you guys enjoy?
I mean, I like the controllers are more sensitive. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, more horsepower is always fun. And we're very, very nerdy. Love that stuff. I'd say just in general, the social tools for being able to share stuff kind of fits perfectly with the game. People made all those YouTube videos, and then JC2 was one of the first games on PS3 pushing on that side.
Our only award for Just Cause 2 was the best use of social network with a YouTube feature.
Nailed it. You own that category.
So I mean now with all the ability to Twitch and the streaming, it's kind of built for the game.
Yep.
And one of the great things about playing Just Cause is every time someone's testing a feature, there will always be someone who will come and stop and look over the person's shoulder, and then suddenly there's 2 or 3 people looking at it. It is a spectator sport. And great players within the game are really fun to watch. I mean, we had some play tests where some of the play testers who came in who were amazing JC2 players, they did some incredible things. I mean, we would sit kind of in the little weird testing booth thing. You stare through it. It's kind of creepy, actually.
Super creepy.
Yeah. So you're like staring at them, like laughing. But then you get that person who's playing the game, and they turn around and they're like, "Did you see that?" Because they know we're weirdly creepy behind the mirror.
Actually, one of my favorite stories with these helicopters was there's a lot of ways to destroy a helicopter, but one playtester thought this was the best way to do it. Was he attached a tether to the helicopter, attached to the ground, retracted it so it came down to the floor, then walked up to it, put an explosive on it, released the tether so that the helicopter flew away, and right as it was going too far, exploded in midair. So they thought that was the best way to do it, and I've never seen that before we saw on the playtest stand, so that was awesome.
For Art, this is an open world game, and the next PlayStation has allowed us to stream more objects at a further distance. So capturing such a massive open world is easier to imagine on this platform than the previous platform coming from the Art side. So there's greater variety and greater variation of biomes, from snow-covered mountains to coastline to scrubland. So for an art director with the team, we were just able to put a lot more into it than we were able to before, which is really nice for us.
More angry triangles.
More angry triangles.
More angry triangles. Tim.
From right here in Boston, we got the hometown hero, Raul. Raul, what's your question?
My question is basically this. So you guys say there's nothing too ridiculous that you can do in this game. How about this? The game starts off with Kim Jong-un watching the interview and then immediately kidnaps Seth Rogen and James Franco. Then all of a sudden, the president, played by Dennis Leary, decides to hire RICO to invade North Korea.
Have you been one of our playtesters?
No, but I'm willing to accept an application.
Thank you, Raul.
That's a lawsuit. You can't use that.
Yeah,
that's an unsolicited script.
Well, we were gonna.
Now I'm gonna change the whole opening.
Back to the drawing board. Nick, what's Batman got to say?
We have Charles from Maine. Look at his abs real quick. I just want to see this.
Oh, man, Charles.
They're amazing. He worked on those all day.
They actually call me Fat Man, not Batman. But that's all right.
Team Fat. Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry.
One of the big check marks with the new generation is that it's an x86. So it's supposedly easier to work with than the last generation. Is that true? Not just horsepower-wise, but actually. I don't know how to explain easier, but.
I mean, the architecture is much easier to work with. Before, when you're dealing with different types of chipsets, it gets really quite difficult when you're moving between multiple platforms. The fact that all the platforms are much closer in development means we spend a little less time trying to do different things per platform. Now we can do everything the same way for everything. So everything can look as good, everything can play exactly the same. We don't have to do any of the secondary, especially the low-level stuff. When it comes to GPU and CPU side, it's much more straightforward.
Tim.
We got Eli from Massachusetts. Eli, hit us up.
So you said you wanted to be a little bit more serious with the story, and you said that RICO's passion is toppling dictators. It seems like this is a little bit something missing here. You know, who's the antagonist? Who's the villain? Can we hear anything about him?
A dictator.
We have a slide of the dictator. It's the statue. It's not actually a statue. There's a person.
There's like 47 slides in this.
He's a stone man. Yeah, there's.
There he is. There he is. Nailed it.
That's Di Ravello. He's the evil dictator, and you do get to take him down. Well, if you succeed, you get to take him down, obviously, but you all will succeed, so it'll be great. But yeah, and he's a real person, not made of stone.
Nicholas.
Yes. This is Falco, and he's from Massachusetts. That's his given name. His mom named him that.
His mom named him Falco.
Totally.
I don't know if I buy it.
Oh, really? Anyway, how does the world react to one of the most destructible items you have?
How would the world react to the most destructive item you have? He's asking if you can blow up the world.
So maybe not blow up the whole world. That'd ruin the game, maybe. But we had an explosion. I don't know if we have. Oh, that one in the background right there. So I remember chatting with the art team and the VFX team. Oh yeah, that's the other one. And I said, "What? Can we make that explosion a little bigger?" Maybe I say that a lot.
Yeah, that's how direct.
Like, that's cool, but just do it bigger. And they did it and actually broke the game because it was too much on the physics side. And then I was like, that was awesome. Can you just make it so it doesn't break the game now? And then a year later, we started getting explosions that were bigger than we've ever done before. And that particular one, eventually, it comes out of a certain type of fuel tank we have that is a huge, ridiculous fuel tank. So you can find those in the world, and because they're all based on physics, you can actually tether it and put it on a helicopter and take it with you somewhere if you wanted to. And then I was like, well, that's not enough. I want it, in an RPG eventually. So yeah, that's there too.
All right, who wants to win prizes? You got raffle tickets when you came through the door, unless you're late, which means fuck you, man. We're gonna go down, and these have been described as big-ass Avalanche prize packages. Of t-shirts. Yeah! Give me a rap air horn. That was really a high-pitched one, Tim. So we have a raffle ticket. Pull out your raffle ticket. We're gonna go down here. 5 of you will win. You will walk over to Stephanie. Stephanie, stand up. Stephanie, give thumbs up. Stephanie, dance a bit.
Dance, Stephanie.
There we go. All right, cool. Christopher, read your ticket.
1135164.
164. There, go over to Stephanie. Roland, read your ticket.
1134794.
Get over there. Joe, read your ticket.
1134992.
Yep,
there we go. Yeah.
Zach, read your ticket.
1135156.
All right, great. And then Anna.
1134972.
There we go. Winner over there. Ladies and gentlemen, Just Cause 3 comes to the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC this holiday. Please give a round of applause for Avalanche. They're making your game.